Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Victoria's Aquatic Adventures. So today we're not actually going to talk about aquatics. I was actually thinking of possibly changing the name from aquatics to just animals, but I mean I do have the majority of fish. So although lately I haven't been doing as much with them, I have more than 100 fish, and my sister is showing a candle in my face because I forgot to light it. So today we're going to talk about, while I'm still deciding what I'm going to do about that, we're going to talk about these ladies behind me. So this here is a crimson giant day gecko. As you can see, she dropped her tail. There are two in this habitat. She dropped her tail because she's not the one that I can handle, and she decided to see me coming to move them from their temporary holding facility of their smaller cage into their bioactive vivarium right here, and she just dropped it. She's not the one I could tongue feed or anything. So we're going to talk about them. I'm not going to talk about the substrate with these guys. I'll talk about the substrate with the line day gecko that I have, just because it's the same type of substrate for them, because geckos like to lick, and they're very explorative with their tongues. Kind of weird, but they are. So her tail is growing back. She's about 5 weeks into that process. It's actually starting to turn colors where it's going to probably turn green. It takes about 9 weeks for their tail to fully grow back, so she's no longer stubborn nubbins, but she is, it looks awkward. I'll show you guys closer momentarily. So what today's video is going to do is just kind of talk about the crimson day geckos. So I've had these ladies, I believe they are both ladies, just because of the chalk sacs. Basically, chalk sacs are where females will store calcium in their neck bulges. And the females store more calcium just because I do believe they are egg laying. So most of the egg laying, from what I've done research, things like quails, anything that lays egg, and if they're female, then they need that calcium for the egg production. So these guys have built-in chalk sacs, and if she hangs upside down, which most of the time they are vertically oriented lizards, they hang more around the treetops and on stumps than they do on the ground. So that's why you'll see her little sacs kind of bulge and everything. So I do know for a fact the one that has lost the tail that I can't handle, she is a female. The other one right now is Romeo. I'm unsure if Romeo is a female or if Romeo is actually just an underdeveloped male, or still very young, because these guys are actually only about, before she lost her tail, she was actually only about 6 inches or so. And these guys can get up to be about a foot. And so I believe the females are a little bit smaller than the males, and the males will be about a foot. So we can kind of gauge whichever. I feed these guys a daily dose of dusted crickets, dubia roaches, waxworms. They love waxworms, superworms, anything like that. And right now you might see some crickets just like running around in their enclosure, because they'll just eat when they want to. And they can also eat things like a treat of honey. They like to lick bananas. Some people try to feed them vegetables, but mine have not taken to the vegetables. So I do dust with things like Pangeas, rapaces, and I've actually started dusting with an Oxbow Carnivore Plus, just because I had it for another lizard that wasn't actually doing too well at the moment, and it just helps. It's an extra plus of vitamins, supplements, and it works for them. So before I actually started looking at lizards, because I was always into kind of like fur, hair, and fins, and now I'm kind of into scales, hence these guys. I have 3. I have 2 of the Crimson Day and just 1 of the Lion Day. But before I started looking, I kind of wanted to point out, do your research. So I looked at this book right here. It's called What Reptile? And it's actually by Chris Mattison. I'll put that in the link so that way you can see it. The reason I like this book is because it tells you everything from reptiles to amphibians. They have all of that, and this is where I've actually realized that, oh, I like, you know, the lizards more than the anoles, and I like the geckos more than the anoles, or more than a bearded dragon. I didn't really want something that I could feed, that I would have to feed mice to or something like that. So that's what I did. And chameleons are very interesting to me, but they seem to need a lot more requirements than what I could set up right now. So, and I like the colors of these guys here. So like this here, we have a full page on our giant day geckos. And I don't have the peacock day gecko, which is right here with my fingers pointing to. The peacock day gecko actually has like that little eye of what you see on a peacock film, just because they weren't available or readily anywhere near when I was getting these guys. So the reason I like this book here is they give you the original name, they give you the scientific name, they give you a small profile, and then they give you a temperament, so that way you kind of know what you're getting into before you get into it. So right now it's like agile but a calm disposition, and they'll jump, but for the most part they stay vertical. And when I say they stay vertical is they will stay on the tree barks. I may see them bask every now and then. They stay on the top of the screens actually up here, but most of the times, like at night when it's time for resting, they will be down on the sides of the glass just kind of resting, and that's how they sleep. It tells you about their size, so it says about 8 to 11 inches. Tells you what type of environment and all of that other good stuff. So, and what the main thing I like here is kind of the cost of the animal, the cost of their setup, which is a little bit more, and then they're kind of their running life cost. So that way you kind of know what you're getting into. And like I said, as you can see, it has it for just a variety of other reptiles and amphibians. So I do recommend this book when looking for your reptile or your amphibian friend. Now, the purpose of this video here is to kind of just show you what I've done and everything. All my pets are kind of spoiled. So they live in a bioactive vivarium with a mixed substrate, which I will talk about that in another video, but it's a mixed substrate, and they have live pet-friendly plants here. I actually get my pet-friendly plants from a subscription box where I pay like $12 a month, and they'll ship me a pet-friendly plant. And then the Madagascar grasses that I got for them, I actually just went to Lowe's and picked them up. So I actually unpotted the Madagascar grasses, and then you have to run them underwater. I actually soaked them into chlorinated water to make sure that there was no lice or any bugs that can be transferred to my pets. And then that's how I got to this point. So I did that, and I put some of the more naturalistic tree bark in here. So they have like 2 tree stumps, different terrain. Every now and then I'll see one kind of jump because he's chasing a cricket, and then he'll jump and he'll go there. And they have their little water bowl over here. I had thought about putting in like a fountain, but right now they're just kind of equipped with the fogger. I don't know if you can see it. It's like this little black thing right here. It runs to 2 vivariums right now. It runs to their vivarium, and then I have my crimson line day geckos vivarium right down there, so it also runs to that one. But their fogger actually runs nightly, so it kind of creates their tropical rainforest type. So that is kind of the introduction to these guys. The second part of this video is actually just, we're gonna pull out Romeo. I'm gonna call him Romeo for the sake of this video, since we still don't kind of know. But we're gonna pull out Romeo because Romeo is actually has something where when he sheds, he doesn't shed all of it. For the most part, he can scrape against he can kind of exfoliate his skin against the bark that's in here, and then pull it off himself, shed most of it. He sheds majority of it within 24 hours, and probably even shorter than that. I'm gonna say 12 to 24 hours. But the only thing I have with him is sometimes every blue moon, and I do wait about 2 weeks. It has been 2 weeks since he shed last. He still has some pieces on his the sticky filaments on his feet. And right now he has some on his belly, on his abdomen. I'll insert a picture. Okay guys, so we're gonna do this quick because I do believe it is a girl. I can see her calcium sacs a little bit more, but she's very upset with me now. She's turning that funky kind of dark green color. So this is Romero, guys, and she got the name Romeo first because she has that heart on her face, and she's just the best ever. But all right, so what I've done here is I just went to Dollar Tree and I've gotten this big Tupperware bowl. I filled it with maybe a half a centimeter of water because I'm only soaking her abdomen, and I conditioned the water with a few drops of this Reptile. So we're just actually going to put her in the bowl for just a few seconds. You go in there? Oh, it's okay. Go in the water. You don't want to go in the water? You want to cling to mama? Go in the water. Okay. Nope, stay in the water. Stay in the water. Stay in the water. You gotta soak. That's what you're here for. You're here for your spa day. Go in the water. I know you don't want to go in the water. So basically what just happened is she went in the water for just a little bit, or he went in the water for just a little bit, and his abdomen is fully wet and soaked, which is what I wanted to happen. Right now he doesn't want to be in the water anymore, so this is kind of easier for me to say. So I'm gonna probably put him back in his vivarium pretty soon, so that way he doesn't jump off of me. But he is probably still only about 6 or 7 inches long. They have doubled in size since I had them over these past 3 months. Their little toes feel the greatest. I love them. But these guys will jump, so I definitely don't want to make him jump, and I definitely don't want to make him scared or anything. But the fact that we have this really lovely green still, and he hasn't turned the tree bark color on me, is actually fantastic. And you can see now that he's hydrating, so he's licking his little eyes, so that makes me feel a little bit better. It's saying that, okay, so he did get a little bit wet. I'm going to probably try to do it one more time just to kind of see how it goes, and then we'll put him back in there, and I'll talk to you through the second one. You go back in the water? You don't want to go back in the water. You said, Mama, please stop making me go in the water. Stop making me go in the water. I don't want to go in the water. I'm going to run up you. I'm going to run up you. Here we go. Turn around. You go in the water, please? No? You want to go back home? Is that what you want to do? I'll put you back home. Okay, so guys, I don't know if they'll show out for you at all while I'm just going to talk you through kind of the rest of this. And because there's really no need for me to, I guess, handle him and make him a little bit more stressed out than what he already is. So, right now he's gasping a little, or yeah, he or she is gasping a little bit. I kind of freaked him out just a little bit, but what we did there was we just kind of soaked their abdomen. So the second way to do this is to still use that little Tupperware dish as such. Here, I would drill holes in the top of the Tupperware dish, basically because what you're going to do is you're going to make a sauna. So the second thing I would do is drill holes in the top. The third thing I would do is, instead of putting water in the bottom, because you don't want your lizard to drown. I don't know why your lizard would drown, but it's just easier if you take Reptile treated water, soak a piece of paper towel, fold it, place it at the bottom. And so once you get your lizard inside the container with the holes drilled for ventilation, and on top of that wet piece of paper towel, then what you do is, it's fine. Then what you do is then what I would is get just a regular heating pad or anything. Put the container with the lizard on the edge of the heating pad. Do not put it on full. And then I would probably turn it on low or turn it on high, kind of depending on how bad the situation is. This is if you have dehydrated matters, you probably want to turn it on high so that way you can do it a lot faster and get them out. A larger area instead of like the deli cup that they came in is probably going to be a lot better than just stressing them out and putting them back inside the little deli cup. Also, just buying a large Tupperware, I mean, it was $1. You get 2 for $1 at Dollar Tree, so I would probably go that way than just trying to keep reusing that deli cup. So the last thing we'll do is that you can steam them in there. You'll start to see some steam kind of head up, and you'll see some steam, and that works for about, I would say, anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. You can steam them, kind of just depending on their stress level. So that is what I would be concerned about, is kind of the stress level of your gecko, how much they can handle, and how hydrated they already are. So Romeo's are already very, very hydrated, so I wasn't going to stress them out. I really just wanted to dip that skin in some water so that way it can flake off on its own before his next shed and not keep building up. So that's what I did. I really love just watching them, and watching them eat crickets is kind of interesting. And so please just kind of let me know what you think and what's kind of your favorite reptile. I like the ones that you can't really touch apparently, and the ones that are just like, oh no, she's not coming in here to get me again, because this thing, I'm pretty sure you have been looking at an empty vivarium this entire time. He's just been sitting over here looking at me like, you grabbed me. There he is up in the corner. Look, he's so cute. He's so cute. You're so pretty. Yes, you are. But I love to watch them eat and everything. That's one reason they are in my room. And that water bowl needs to be changed and refreshed. But so they haven't cost me a lot. The main part is just making sure that I have the readily available crickets and such. So let me know what you think, and let me kind of know what your favorite ones are, and if this has kind of the reptile sauna has helped with you or anything and such. Yeah, so keep a lookout. I will be doing a line day gecko substrate kind of video fairly soon. It's supposed to get really dark here, so I got a spotlight so that way we can because we're supposedly supposed to get up to let me turn it back to where you can see him, because we're apparently supposed to get up to I think it's a month of rain in 3 days. So just let me know kind of what you think on these videos. Invite your friends, invite your family. Don't forget to subscribe and like the videos if you like it, you think it's good information. Tell me if the saunas work for you or such. And yeah, I love talking to you guys. Live your best life, guys. Bye.